All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DCU update today. Like I've said before, even though I'm not happy with the direction that everything is going, I am still going to be here to bring you all of the news. And you can rest assured that I will be growing my mustache and my beard again. Several people made comments about that. Every once in a while, I feel like I need to shave just to get it. I don't know. I like to be free of all the hair every once in a while, but 90% of the time I do have, a little bit of stubble, and I will maintain that. Usually they grow it out in the winter. But let's talk about what happened today. Some big news out there. We've got Black Adam, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson himself, just 10 minutes ago, made a statement on Twitter about Black Adam. And we're going to look at this, and I'm going to talk about what this means, because his statement does have a lot of implications for where this is going to be headed in the future, and does tie into some comments that James Gunn has made in the past. So let's take a look at his post. So he literally just posted this a few minutes ago. The first page here says, "My passionate friends, I wanted to give you a long-awaited Black Adam update regarding the character's future in the new DC universe. James Gunn and I connected, and Black Adam will not be in their first chapter of storytelling. However, DC and $7 have agreed to continue exploring the most valuable ways Black Adam can be utilized in future DC multiverse chapters. James and I have known each other for years and have always rooted for each other to succeed. It's no different now, and I will always root for DC and Marvel to win, and win big. You guys know me, and I have very thick skin, and you can always count on me to be direct with my words." Goes on to say, these decisions made by James and DC leadership represent their vision of DCU through their creative lens. After 15 years of relentless hard work to finally make Black Adam, I'm very proud of the film we delivered for fans worldwide. I will always look back on the fan reaction to Black Adam with tremendous gratitude, humility, and love. We did great. To my very passionate and vocal Black Adam superhero genre fans, I love you. Thank you. And I will always listen to you and do my best to deliver and entertain you. What a hell of a month. Now we all need some Terramana. Have a productive week, and happy holidays to you and your families. Dwayne Johnson. Here's what this means. He is not part of James Gunn's plans going forward. It looks like they're going to be doing a whole clean slate on everything. There are reports today that somebody sent me earlier, and I don't know how much of this is true because I'm not seeing it being reported everywhere, that Zachary Levi is also going to be out as Shazam once the second movie gets released. So I'm of the mind I'm probably not going to go to the movies. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a wait-and-see attitude at this stage until James Gunn is able to reveal something at the beginning of the year. He promises that there will be more revealed for the fans at the very beginning of the year, and I am going to wait until I see what he has to say before I make a final decision on what I'm going to do with these 4 movies next year. But as it stands now, if things continue to go the way they're going, I will not be supporting the next 4 films. I will wait until they get released and add them to my collection. But they are not going to be my priority to go to the movies to see them, especially if they're wiping it out. It doesn't make any sense to go see or support those films anymore. First of all, I think this is extremely short-sighted, but here's what is happening. This isn't the first time where one of the actors said, we're looking forward to seeing what is going to happen in the future. Henry Cavill's statement was the same thing. I believe these statements are being forced out there by Warner Brothers Discovery, by these actors. It is very clear their stock is falling and falling hard by the day. They are getting dangerously close to being kicked off of the stock exchange. And what they're doing is they're trying to save money. They're getting rid of everybody that cost them money, and they're going to bring in and do some second-rate stuff to begin with. Now, here's the challenge that James Gunn is going to have. Well, first, let me talk about the challenges here in a minute. First, let's talk about, the point I was trying to make with this. They are leaving the door open for the Zack Snyderverse to still be there off to the side. They're not getting rid of it. That has been made very clear by both Dwayne Johnson and also Henry Cavill. This universe is still going to be there, but it is not going to be the one that they focus on. They're going in a completely different direction with a different universe. And how they're going to go about that is beyond me, because I don't think this is, with everything that we got with Zack Snyder, and especially Zack Snyder's Justice League, there was some epic stuff in that film. I don't think they're ever going to be able to top what they've been doing with the DCU up to this stage. If the studio would have just stayed out of the way to begin with and let the filmmakers make their movies, we wouldn't be where we are today. But we are, and they have, for some reason, given the keys of the kingdom to James Gunn. Now, if you notice, Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, everybody's being pretty quiet right now, even though everybody's getting let go. And that's because there is still an opportunity for them to come back in the future, and they don't want to sabotage that. But it is very clear at this stage that what is happening next year and coming up is going to be a complete clean slate, and they're going in a completely different direction. And I believe in the end of this, there won't be any of the original cast will be around. I think they're all going to be changed. And like I said, because it's a multiverse, they're going to be able to bring a lot of different elements from different things into this. And maybe at some point in the future have a big crisis event and have all of the universes come together, whether it be Final Crisis or Crisis on Infinite Earths or, the multiverse, different crises, whatever they're having right now. There is a possibility that all this could come into play in the future. So I don't think this is the last time we are going to see this iteration of the Justice League on film. But I think it's going to be a long time before we see them again. I think it's 5 or longer years before we will see them back. Now, there is a whole caveat to all of this. And if their stock gets low enough and they get sold off or there's some kind of a hostile takeover, there's that 2-year rule once you buy the company that they can't sell, 2 years from now, year and a half now, everything could change. And that's probably why they didn't give Gunn a longer contract, because there's a lot of things that could change in a few years, and then all this could be turned on its head yet again. I do not anticipate, here's what I wanted to talk about, is I do not anticipate anything that James Gunn is going to do is going to be able to top up the epicness, or top the epic, I can't even talk, that will top the epicness of what we've seen thus far with the DCEU. I just don't see it. The reason I think the New Gods movie was originally canceled, because whatever they were planning was going to be nowhere near the level of what he was able to do with Darkseid in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I just don't see them being able to top just the visuals or the epicness of everything that has transpired up to this point. So I will be more than happy to sit within my pocket of the DC universe for what they've created thus far and not support what's happening in the future, unless he comes out at the beginning of the year and explains the plan to all of this. Now, if he comes back and says, yes, there is a plan and we will be seeing these characters again, guaranteed, and that there is a roadmap that they're going to be using, yeah, I'm going to be more inclined to be involved with it. But I just don't want to invest in a whole nother group of characters, and it is very clear that their egos are getting in the way of what they're planning in the future, that they do not care about the fans, they never cared about the fans, and they're pulling more studio bullcrap. This is what got us to this stage in the first place, and I am not optimistic about the future anymore. And there's more reports that, Zaslav was the architect of all of this blowing up, and, if that's the case, then I do hope they lose the company. I would like to see somebody else, if it is, NBC Universal, come in and Comcast take over. I think I'm okay with that. I don't want it to go to Disney. I don't like what Disney is doing, although they're changing course. I still have to do my Star Wars video. But there's a lot going on right now. We're just got to wait to see at the beginning of the year what they have to say. But I will be covering all of it as these actors come out and make statements. I will be covering everything. I try to bring you stuff that is actual, and that's why I try to pull the tweets that are most current, by the people that are making these comments, so that I'm bringing you real information, and I will tell you when I'm speculating, and I do have a lot of speculation going on with, everything I talked about. I still think that there was something going on with Snyder, and Snyder's gone cold. He's gone quiet, but he was teasing something that he had planned. So I am 100% positive that whatever Abdi and DeLuca were planning got completely pushed to the side at this stage. But that doesn't mean it won't come back in the future. But I don't see that happening anytime soon, and the superhero genre is on a downturn. I think the golden age of superheroes on film is over at this stage, and I don't see if they're going to be able to capitalize on this. Even the new Avatar movie did not make nearly as much as they were expecting over the weekend because fewer people are going to the movies. With the cost of everything today, I haven't been going back to the movies as much as I used to. I used to go like 3 times a week. Now I'm lucky if I go once or twice a month, even though things are back, although there haven't been that many great films to go see. But there's probably been 3 or 4 that I normally would have gone to the theater to see, but I've skipped simply because it's not a priority. There are other priorities because of the way the economy is and the cost of gas and everything else, and it's gotten out of hand. And so I think fewer and fewer people will be going to the movies, and that is going to be a trend that is going to continue. A year ago, the gas was not nearly as high as it is now, and the last, that's when Spider-Man came out, and then shortly after Top Gun came out was when things went completely haywire. So I don't foresee that changing anytime soon. So the theater is going to be affected. No matter what they say, Black Adam was never going to make as much money as they expected it to make. He's not a number one DC character, and the average moviegoer doesn't know who he is. Which also is funny because James Gunn is talking about bringing in a lot of second-rate characters, and if you don't have the fans on your side and you're bringing in the second and third string characters, from the DCU into the universe, I just don't think a lot of people are going to care. I think it's going to get oversaturated and people are going to get annoyed. If they start doing what they've done on Disney Plus and make subpar shows, consistently and just not caring about what the fans want, then it's just not going to do well. And that's just a nature of the way business runs. But egos fly high in Hollywood. That is very clear by Gunn's statements yesterday, and Dwayne Johnson, being very cordial, and I think he was probably forced to make a statement so that people are not wondering if he's going to be a part of this, because he's not. Everybody's out. I'm pretty sure everybody's out at this stage. All right, what do you guys think about this latest Twitter drop and where we're headed? I do appreciate all the support, and I will be covering all of this going forward. We will see you on the next video.